The sun beat down on the outskirts of Aachen, Germany, turning the streets dusty and dry. Lieutenant Robert Hayes crouched behind a stack of crates, eyes fixed on the massive Ironworks Factory ahead, smoke curling lazily from its chimneys. Only months ago, he had worked as a machinist in Pittsburgh, operating heavy presses and welding metal sheets. Now, his skills were needed for something far more dangerous: sabotaging the enemy's production line to slow the war effort. Orders were precise: infiltrate the factory under cover of daylight, plant explosives at critical points, and escape undetected. Simple in words, but the reality was a maze of guards, alarms, and the constant threat of capture. The factory loomed ahead, its walls scarred and towering, with workers moving back and forth under the watchful eyes of armed soldiers. Robert adjusted his gloves, checked the timing device strapped to his chest, and glanced at his two-man team beside him. He remembered home, the steady hum of the machine shop, the smell of oil and metal, and his father's voice teaching him to stay precise and calm. Those memories anchored him, keeping fear from overwhelming his focus. They crept through side streets, avoiding the main gates, slipping past patrols and dogs that sniffed the air for intruders. Every step was calculated, every shadow a potential threat, and every second mattered. Inside the factory, the noise of hammers, furnaces, and machinery made their task easier, masking their careful movements. Robert and his team placed explosives along the critical supports and conveyor systems, ensuring the timing would halt production at its peak without alerting the guards prematurely. A sudden shout outside made them freeze, but after a tense moment, the patrol passed, oblivious to the intruders inside. With the explosives in place, Robert signaled his team to retreat, hearts pounding as they navigated the labyrinth of metal beams and glowing furnaces. Once safely outside the perimeter, they ducked into the shadows, waiting as the timer ticked down. The first explosion shook the factory, followed by a series of controlled blasts, sending smoke and debris into the sky and halting production entirely. Relief washed over Robert, but it was brief. Any moment now, the enemy would be searching for them. They melted into the alleys, silent and precise, retracing their route back to Allied lines. By sunset, the factory lay in chaos, guards overwhelmed and production stalled. Robert and his team crossed the border into safety, their mission complete. Lives of countless Allied soldiers indirectly protected by their courage and skill. No medals would mark the daring daylight infiltration. No headlines would tell the story. Yet the success of that single operation had made a decisive difference. Robert exhaled, knowing that sometimes victory comes not from grand battles, but from precision, patience, and the bravery to step into danger unseen. The factory smoldered in the distance, a silent testament to their mission, while Robert vanished into the city streets, ready for whatever came next.